Welcome to the Financial Goddess presentation on your legacy. Today we're going to talk about how will your business leave the world a better place. This presentation has originally been presented to BNI in August of 2021. So let's have a look at a little bit of a background on the study we'll be referencing here throughout the presentation. As I have mentioned, it's a recent XERO study that was conducted focusing on businesses bouncing back from the pandemic. The small business owners that were being interviewed were predominantly based in North America and Canada. However, I found the results to be equally relevant regardless of your demographic in the world. So the small business owners were asked about their life experiences and their feeling about life and work in general in a post-pandemic landscape. So now let's have a look at what were the results. The first thing to note is that the results very much depended on which generation the business owner was part of. Some were optimistic and others were less so. The four distinct generations that were being surveyed was Generation Z, Millennials, Generation X, and Baby Boomers. So which generation are you part of? And let's have a look at how your answers compare. So for the first question, how long should I give my business to succeed or fail? 58% of small business owners are giving themselves 5 years or less. Newer businesses are actually cutting that time even shorter, with 60% of business owners who have been operating 2 years or less allowing a maximum of 2 years to determine success or failure, versus 30% who have not set themselves a time limit to decide whatsoever. Now remember, like the decision to start the business, whether it's about soldiering on or calling it quits, it is not a choice to be made lightly. The second question, and much of my focus of today's presentation, was, will my business leave the world a better place? Here we're talking about income versus impact as the key factors. So for businesses that are operational, as in businesses that are already turning profits, profitability still claimed the first spot, with 30% of those surveyed ranking it as a #1 measure of success. However, what was interesting to see is the shift in relation to creating a legacy, as it now claimed a close second at 28%. The strategic growth came in third at 26%. So the thinking is shifting towards the impact, and that is a very welcome change. And now I encourage you to shift your perspective. Yes, you sold X amount of product and made X amount of money, but did it leave the world a better place? The third question was all about asking the business owners to think about their business post-pandemic and what would that look like. So the younger business owners, as potentially expected, tend to be more positive about the future. Only 47% of Gen Z believe that pandemic will have a long-term economic impact versus 79% of the boomers. Millennials, small business owners, are the most optimistic, with 50% expecting a strong economic recovery and 38% believing that life in general will go back to how it was pre-pandemic. Over 58% of the business owners surveyed said the pandemic has not lessened their desire to continue running a business. And 29% actually said that the pandemic increased their vision, with 43% of Gen Z, 38% of millennials, and 18% of boomers. In some cases, pandemic provided to be the impetus to start on business from home. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's good to see that a lot of businesses, more than half, have maintained their resilience and continue to be optimistic about their outlook post-pandemic. How do you relate to these results? It's important to note that the questions around expectations, time, legacy, and what the future looks like have an infinity of different answers based on the unique factors of the business, its location, industry, owner's perspective, their qualifications, educational level, the culture, and the generation that they belong to. Each one of you here listening will have your own unique answers as well. As varying as these responses may be, these are decision points that form part of planning and projections for every business. We've come to this time of the year that we need to start thinking about your business post-pandemic and start having some solid action plan. One key factor that determines the business success is the small business owner's ability to embrace a do-it-together approach by partnering with trusted advisors, such as Financial Goddess services, that can give you a competitive edge. At Financial Goddess, we don't take either or approach. We don't sit there with clients forcing them to either focus on just profitability or just on their legacy, just on the impact that their business makes. We believe that you need to have a successful and profitable business in order to be able to create your own legacy, regardless of what that means to you. There is a lot of different causes in the world, and one would speak closer to your heart than another. We have countless issues around climate change, domestic violence, homelessness, crime, youth issues, just to name a few. One of those causes is bound to be one that would speak closer to your heart, where you might start to think how you can start creating your own legacy. We believe that money is a resource, and if managed properly, can help you to not only positively contribute to your community, but also to make a big impact in the world. We embrace the philosophy in our business every single day by donating time and money to valuable causes and partnering with other organizations such as Rotary International, Lean-in-Org, and UN Women. So I now invite you to think, how will your business leave the world a better place? I would like to end this presentation with leaving you with some food for thought. A bar of iron costs $5. When you made it into horseshoes, it's worth $12. If you make it into needles, it's now worth $3,500. The same bar of iron made into balance springs for watches, it's now worth $300,000. The bottom line is, your own value is determined by what you are able to make of yourself. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. If you have, please subscribe to our channel.